the meantime, another baby girl and her family are alive tonight thanks to the courageous actions of strangers who came to their rescue. The baby and her family were in a car when it veered out of control and plunged off Highway 101 yesterday. It landed in the bay upside down. A half dozen motorists immediately jumped into the water and rescued them.
There's another fellow that came alongside and helped turn the car over, and we got the kids out. The baby was floating face down.
Certain things started flashing, like, oh gosh, now I can either, give this kid its life, or it's up to us to do something. At that point, it could go either way. She can come back, or she could be gone.
I grabbed her first orthodontist and had other guys grab the kids. She said her back was hurting. She had a gash on the top of her forehead. I was giving her support. Let her know I was there. I was leaving her alone, period.
It was amazing that these people helped, and we just thank, God that these people were there to help.
I'd also like to thank Lou Fazo and everybody else who got out and gave efforts to save my little girl, because she's my everything.
Tonight, 11-month-old Kaja Balshuk is in serious condition, but she is recovering at San Francisco General Hospital. 2 other children and the car's 16-year-old driver were treated and released.
Well, the fears go well beyond our airports and flight paths. Right now, armed Coast Guard cutters are patrolling the waters off the California coast. The terrorist strike on our nation has radically changed their mission. Christian Peterson takes you on patrol in the Bay Area.
The 87-foot cutter Hodgeville goes on patrol. The Coast Guard mission is to enforce a 200-mile security zone from offshore waters to San Francisco Bay. Armed cutters are stopping vessels and searching them. Captain Tim Sullivan explains.
What we're looking for now is something unusual, something extraordinary. In fact, I would ask your viewers, as they hear or see something extraordinary, feel free to call the Coast Guard. We have a very professional, sharp marine interest here in the Bay Area.
Crews are on the highest state of alert, and the Coast Guard patrols are not taking any chances.
Take a look at these 50 caliber machine guns. Usually they're stored below deck in this Coast Guard vessel, but as a result of the attack on our nation, they're out here in the open for crews to use if necessary.
The United States Coast Guard has been around for centuries, but it only seems to be in the wake of 9/11 that has really found its purpose. Brian Special has more now, and tonight's live in the 831. Brian?
Yeah, Kevin, over the course of its history, the U.S. Coast Guard has fallen under the jurisdiction of the Department of Treasury, the Department of Transportation, and now, finally, the Department of Homeland Security. With increased funding after September 11th, the service seems to finally be hitting its stride. More tonight's live in the 831.
The worst nightmare in hell.
Heidi Gorman was in New York.
It was pretty eerie to see all the smoke.
Fazo was in Monterey.
When we saw the second plane hit, we immediately started making phone calls, preparing to get underway.
2 years later, a relative calm has returned to America's shores. But for the U.S. Coast Guard, nothing is the same.
All the books were thrown out, new ones written, and everything changed.
For most of its 214-year history, the Coast Guard had focused primarily on search and rescue operations. It now finds itself with the added responsibility of national security.
The focus has changed, and we are more military in the way that we operate. We train harder. We train in a more of a military fashion.
The Coast Guard has definitely made that more of a mission and more of a priority to protect our harbors and ports.
If we're in a city, let's say like San Francisco, we are aware of who's around. Monuments like Alcatraz or highly trafficked areas like Pac Bell Park, the Golden Gate Bridge. If you're out there and you're out there for any length of time, we will board you and find out who you are and what your business is.
And those on patrol are now prepared for almost any situation.
I'll admit, before September 11th, I wasn't too good with the 50 caliber machine gun on board, and now everyone on board, from myself to the cook, can fire that thing off in a minute.
It's a new era for the most overlooked branch of the U.S. military, one that was ushered in by a tragedy that the Coast Guard will now do its part to make sure never happens again.
It's definitely going to make this country safer, more secure. We are much more alert and ready to handle pretty much anything that comes our way. And if something were to happen, the reaction time to it will be something like the Coast Guard's never seen. We're ready right now.
They sure seem to be. And just because they're stationed in Monterey doesn't mean they aren't needed elsewhere. In fact, Lewis, who you saw in the piece there, leaves in November for a year-long tour of duty in Iraq.
Marla Tellez met with a young man today who's ready to trade the Monterey Peninsula for the Middle East. Marla joins us now live from our Monterey newsroom with more. Marla?
Well, Kevin, Lou Fazo is one of 115 Coast Guard members who are being sent to Iraq. And while you can say he was called to duty, the truth is he volunteered, and in just 9 days, his assignment begins.
Oh, this is the sole reason why I got chosen for this assignment, because of this unit.
For the past 3 years, Lou Fazo has been stationed in Monterey, patrolling the waters from San Francisco to San Diego. But soon, his serene and cool Coast Guard territory is going to change.
They're sending me to a very similar unit in Iraq, which will patrol all the tributaries of the port of Qusar and up through Baghdad and just around the general region for port security purposes, protect the Navy boats and the assets out there.
The 27-year-old volunteered to serve in the Middle East for 1 year. His first day on the job is Christmas. He says making the decision to enter the war-torn waters off of Iraq was simple.
First of all, I love my job. I love being in the Coast Guard. I love everything that we do. And because of that, and my love for the country, I made it a no-brainer. I signed up knowing what could happen, but also believing that we're doing the best that we can to keep everybody as safe as possible. And I have no regrets, nor will I.
Lou admits he's going to miss the Monterey Peninsula, his friends and family, but not even the fact that he's entering a war contested by many Americans is making him think twice.
I'm not worried about what goes on when I'm here or how people's frame of mind are. My situation is I'm just going to follow my orders, I'm going to do everything I'm told, and I'm going to enjoy the benefits coming to me when I get back.
But Lou is looking forward to more than just the financial benefits of receiving a year's worth of tax-free income.
The prestige that goes along with the Coast Guard with overseas duty will follow me throughout my career, and the overall internal satisfaction will be enough for me.
Lou says when he does come home, he'll also have the privilege of choosing where he's stationed. His first choice, of course, is sunny San Diego. And as I mentioned, Kevin, he will be leaving next Saturday, the 15th, for 1 month's training in Virginia, then is off to Iraq.
All right, thank you, Marla. We wish him good luck.